A new chance has come to stop the bloodshed in Gaza. Donald Trump's team has made proposals to both sides of the conflict.
I can confirm that Special Envoy Witkoff and the president submitted a ceasefire proposal to Hamas. We hope that a ceasefire in Gaza will take place.
Hamas rejects the proposals, at least for now, though the situation of the residents of the Gaza Strip, still under attack by Israel, is dire. We have nowhere else to stay. My whole family, 8 people, has only this tent. We have nothing to eat, not even flour. We haven't eaten anything today. The situation is also tense on the West Bank, ruled by the Palestinian Fatah. Clashes occur there regularly, and the Israeli government has just decided to build new settlements. This is a clear message to Macron and his colleagues. They recognize the Palestinian state on paper, while we will build the Jewish state of Israel here on this land. Positive news is coming from Syria, which was visited by the US President's special envoy.
When President Trump on May 13th made a bold decision, he would use the bondage of 50 years in an instant. No conditions, no requirements.
The situation in Syria is very difficult, and many of the trade restrictions imposed on the country over the years primarily affect the poorest. The embargo on Syria resulted in a lack of access to spare parts for certain medical devices and to life-saving medicines. The US, together with Turkey and Qatar, also wants to rebuild the energy network of war-torn Syria. The United States is increasingly opening up to Syria in an attempt to prevent the country from falling apart.
So Syria has been under sanctions for decades of various sorts, the most recent round of sanctions that the United States put on happened during the Arab Spring uprisings after Bashar al-Assad began brutalizing his own people in response to their uprising against his regime. And since those sanctions were put on, the United States has this habit of putting sanctions on and never quite taking them off.
For the first time since 2012, the American flag is flying in the Syrian capital, Damascus. The U.S. ambassador's residence has been reopened there. It is a symbolic moment, although the U.S. embassy itself remains, for now, closed in the country. Spanish captain, explorer, and traveler Christopher Columbus believed that there was a sea route to India and decided to discover it. He set sail on the Atlantic Ocean on October 12, 1492. 90 people took part in the expedition aboard 3 ships, the Santa Maria, the Nina, and the Pinta.
This is the Christopher Columbus replica of the Santa Maria, one of the 3 that went to America and discovered a whole brand new continent, so it's a great historical event that will try to transmit to the public, get them closer to that experience.
Each of the ships in Columbus's famous expedition had its own unique characteristics. The Santa Maria was the largest, the Nina was the fastest, and the Pinta was distinguished by its maneuverability.
The hull is made of fiberglass covered in oak wood. Also there's pine wood, and the masts, for example, are steel made. And yeah, we have 5 decks and 5 masts with their sails, yacht. And nowadays we are 14 people sailing, more or less. But in the past it would be like around 45 and 50 people. So we are a little more quiet than in the past. We are constantly going from port to port, trying to open to the public as a museum. So yeah, the home port is in Spain, it's in Andalusia in the south, but we are constantly going from port to port. It's true that it's the first time that we are here in London, so we are very proud and happy to be here.
In addition to the main hull, the replica also features period-accurate accessories such as cannons, logs, lanterns, and rudders on the lower decks.
I knew the story of Columbus from a book from, when I was a kid at school. But to come on the boat, a scale replica of the one that went across the Atlantic.
I think it's very interesting because since we were small, we live in Brazil, we have that in the school that Christopher Colombo found America, right? And so having this ship can be possible to be in the ship as a replica, of course, but to be fascinating is a fascinating.
On October 12, 1492, 3 ships from Christopher Columbus's expedition reached the shores of San Salvador Island in the Bahamas. This day is considered the date of the discovery of America, although in reality, the American continent had been inhabited for centuries. This discovery only meant that, in 1492, permanent contact between the so-called Old World and New World was established.